All right. All right, Part 1, 1117 petitions for a relief not otherwise covered, 1117-1 petitions. Any party seeking relief did not provide within any other rule when they may file with the petition with such relief petition should be contained with A, the short plain with the statement of the grounds upon which the board's jurisdiction is based, B, a short plain statement of the claiming showing that the petitioner is entitled to relief and demanded of the relief petition and believes that it is appropriate. All right, let's move on to 119, compliance with the board decisions. A defendant will respond with the directive of the board to do is desist from the doing of the particular thing that must notify the board before the compliance date with the specified decision and the manner complying with the notification should be verified in an affidavit showing the simultaneously service upon all parties to the proceeding which chamber the rates for the schedule of the directive notification specifying the service of the transportation board tariff and scheduled numbers must be given additional with the filing of the proper tariffs and schedules. All right, we'll read part 120. 120, using the use of the 1977 to 1978 survey of the motor carrier platform handling factors. 1121, scope. 1122, purpose. 1121, scope. The provision of over this part apply only to Class 1 and Class 2 motor common carrier of the general freight subject of the counting the instruction number 27 of the Board Uniform State System of Accounts or Title 49 CFR Part 1207. 1122, purpose. Any of the preceding requirements for the development of the platform handling the time of the distribution platform expense of the carriers due to the result of the national weight formula contained in the board study of the entitled in the 1977 and 1978 motor carrier platform study, statement 2S179. And then part 121 would be your rail exemption procedures. And we'll cover that next. Testing. All right. Part 1121, rail exemption procedures. 1121-1, scope. 1121-2, discovery. 1121-3, content. 1121-4, procedures. 1121, scope. The procedure generally governed with the position file on Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 10502 with example of the transaction ship with the Title 49 U.S. Standard Code Subtitle 4 and provisions of Title 49 U.S. Standard Code Subtitle 4 to revoke any exemption previously granted. These procedures apply with the notice of exemption. 1121-2 with the discovery shall show with the procedure set forth in Title 49 CFR Part 1114. Subpart with the B with the discover the man begin upon with the filing of the petition exemption with the petition revocation of the exemption petition revocation exemption party with the may indicate the petition whether the seek the discovery if it is the party that must file with the discovery required at the same time with the file with the petition to revoke. Discovery shall be complete within 30 days of the petition with and revoke of this file with the party with the sequence of discovery with the supplement of the petition with the revoke 45 days after the petitioning is filed with a reply with the supplemental petition after due 15 days after the supplemental pilot petition is filed. 1121-3 with the content of the party filing with the petition with exemption with the shall provide with the case of the chief along with the supporting evidence of the work paper the related document for the time of the petitioner must comply with the environmental historic reporting and the notice for the requirement of Title 49 CFR Part 1105. Party seeking the revocation aim with exemption notice of the exemption shall provide all supporting information with the time of the file of the petition with information later obtained through discovery can be submitted supplemental petition pursuant with the Title 49 CFR 1121-2 with the interchange commitments. The following party will survive whether or not propose the acquisition operation of the rail line involved with the provision of the agreement with the may limit with the further interchange with the third party connection whether they outright prohibition per car penalty adjustment of the purchase price of the rental positive with an economical inducement. Other means for the interchange commitment, and such for the provision, except for the following additional information for the must provide with the information paragraph of the title D1, 2, 4, and 7, the section filed by the board in Title 49 CFR 1104-14A will be kept confidential without the need of filing accompanying a motion with the protective under Title 49 1104-14. B. The existence of the provision of the agreement with the identification of the effective the interchange point with the confidential completion of the version of the document contained within addressing the provision with the agreement, the list of shippers that currently you have the list and line in question within the last 2 years. Aggregated number of the carload of the shipper to specify in the paragraph of the D13 with the section originally terminated with the confidential. 5. A certification that has followed by the party to provide with the notice of proposed transaction interchange with the commitment with the shipper to interchange identified in paragraph D13 with the section 6 of listed third-party railroads physically interchanged with the line sought whether they occurred or leased. 7. An estimate of the difference between the sales and lease prices without interchange commitment with the confidential. 8. The change of the case of the caption with existing and interchange with the commitment of the parent in the case of the title. 2. The obtainment of the information for the interchange commitment with the use of the proceeding before the board or the shipper or effective of the party with the may be granted access to the confidential document pursuant to paragraph D1. over the section by following the service plan with the petitioner of the motion of the active and confidential documentation containing the explanation of the parties need for the information of the and appropriate draft of the protected the order of the confidential under the taking and will ensure that the documentation kept the confidential. Deadlines 1. Reply with the motion active due within 5 days after the motion. 2. The board will rule the motion active within 30 days after the motion is filed. 3. The parties must produce the relevant documentation within 5 days of the receipt of the board approved and signed confidential agreement. All right, 1121.4 procedure exemption. Proceed with the information public comments for the general aid not sought through the consideration exemption petition proposal for the provide 1121.4c. However, the board may be considered deliberately any public comment with the file with the response to the petition with exemption. If the board determines that the criteria of the Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 1052 that are met with the proposed exemption, will not issue the exemption published with the notice of the exemption Federal Register. Impact of the proposed the individual exemption cannot be certain from the information contained with the petition accompanying with the submission. Significant adverse impacts that might occur with the proposed exemption with the most granted with the board may be in discretion. 1. Direct additional information to be filed. 2. The publish for the notice of the Federal Register for the requesting of the public comment. 2. For the petition with a new class for the exemption with the file with the board with the published for the notice of the Federal Register requesting the public comment before granting with the class exemption with a requirement that do not pertain to the individual notice exemption filed under the existing class exemption. The board may deny requests for the class exemption without seeking the public comments. Exemption penalty. Exemption petitions contained with the proposal of the directly related with the concurrently with the file with the primary application for the considered along with the primary application. Unless otherwise specified, the decision exemption generally with effect of the 30 day of the service of the day of the decision granting with the exemption with the otherwise provided with the decision petition stated by within 10 days of the service of the day of the petition reconsideration petition reopening with the Title 49 CFR 1115, Title 49 1152, 25C, 25E. Must be filed within 20 days of the service of the date with the petition with the revoke of the exemption with the note of the exemption may be filed within the time of the person seeking the revocation with the burden showing the revocation criteria of the Title 49 CFR. Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 1052 has been met with the abandonment exemption petition with a revocation part of the impo of the public and for the condition of the Title 49 CFR 1152-28 with the invoke with the Trails Act of the Title 16 U.S. Standard Code 1247D may be filed at the time prior with the consumption with abandonment except for the public use for the condition. They may not prohibit the disposal of the property with any more than statutory limited of the 180 days after the effective the day of the decision granting of the exemption. All right, 8. The transaction, acquisition, operation of the rail line class due with the rail carriers under the Title 49 U.S. Standard Code 1092. Exemption may not become effective within 60 days after the applicant certified by the board has posted and work placed in the employee with the affected line with the administrator with the notice of the transaction national office of the labor unions with employees on affected line setting forth the type of the numbers of the jobs expected to be available, the terms of employment, the principal employee selection from the line that are there to be transferred. All right, Part 1122, board-initiated investigations.